Welcome to Turn It Up. I'm your host, Greg Larry, and welcome to the podcast. Today's episode is going to be on DelFest 2025, the Bluegrass and Americana Festival held in Western Maryland. Love bluegrass picking. This year's DelFest will feature in the Del McCoury band, of course, every day. They're the host band for the event. You also have the Traveling McCourys, which is the band minus Del, basically. A few changes, but they're a very good band, too. Grammy Award winning. Also is going to be Ferrell will be here in 2025. The Tyminski Band, Asleep at the Wheel, Larkin Poe, Leftover Salmon, a young virtuoso guitarist from Italy named Matteo Mancuso. I hope I'm saying that correctly. Almost 37 acts, basically 37. There can be one or two different by the time it actually goes, but a lot of music. The Wood Brothers, Steve Poltz, and many, many more. So coming up soon. Basically, it's that time of year where we start thinking about the outdoors. It's been cold here in Western Maryland, where I'm at. It's finally starting to warm up a little bit after a cold January and February. So we start thinking about getting outside and doing things and some music. I mean, you got the big festivals around. You know, you have the Bonnaroo and Ultra, the New Orleans Jazz Festival, which I've been to, which is a fantastic festival. But also the smaller festivals, these bluegrass and Americana festivals, have a lot to offer, and without the enormous crowds of some of the other big festivals. You got Merle Fest this year, Old Settlers Festival, Rocky Grass, Gray Fox, the High Sierra Music Festival in Quincy, California. All smaller festivals which are really enjoyable. But to give you a little background, again, my name's Greg Larry, and I've been covering DelFest since I live here in Cumberland, Maryland, where the festival is held. It's held at the Allegheny County Fairgrounds, and that's on Memorial Day weekend. It's a 4-day festival, Thursday through Sunday. Be the 22nd through the 25th this year of May. And for years I worked for the Cumberland Times-News as a reporter. And I covered it every year, and I've been going. The festival started in 2008. I became an employee of the Cumberland Times-News in 2012, but too late in the year to go that year. But the following year, 2013, I started covering it for the paper and covered it every year since. So I basically have covered, I think it's 13 or 14 of the festivals. So I'm very familiar with DelFest, and I've been following it and reporting on it and writing many articles for quite a while. Okay, about DelFest. DelFest has 3 stages. The main stage is called the Grandstand Stage, and it is inside the oval of the racetrack. And you can sit up in the grandstands, or you can walk right down in front, or put your chairs out, blanket, whatever you want to do. There's also called the Potomac Stage, which is outside of the grandstands, and it's a little bit smaller of a stage. And then the third stage is called the Music Hall Stage, and that's indoors, which comes in really handy. It's inside the multi-use building. If it's really hot and sunny, or if there's rain, it's great to be able to go inside the Music Hall Stage and check that out. Great bands on all 3 stages. Like I said, 37 bands performing over 4 days. They also have late night shows, which are ticketed, and they start at midnight. And I'm not sure how late they go. It's maybe 3, maybe later. But great performers at that, too. Like I said, the festival started in 2008. Some of the first performers were Dierks Bentley, Vince Gill, Sam Bush, the Punch Brothers were there, And so that's when it got started. Little hiccup, of course, through COVID. We lost a couple of years, but I'd like to ask you, have you been to DelFest? Have you experienced it? I've talked to people writing my articles that are first-timers, that have come out for their very first time, and I've talked to people that have been there every year since 2008. And it's always interesting to talk to the people. I mean, people know which their children are born by which DelFest they went to. Pretty cool. And they have a picture each year on the first day where they want all of the people that have gone every year. They have to take a picture of them, and there's quite a few of them that have gone. So I wonder if you've been there and what your experience has been. Put that in the comments if you have it. The main act, of course, is the Del McCoury Band. What can we say? Del is a living legend in bluegrass, and he is the vibe that the festival has really emanates with Del. His laid-back, friendly vibe just permeates everything, and Del's just a great guy. Now he's in his mid-80s and still going strong, and I saw him down at the Grand Ole Opry there back before the holidays, and sounded great. A couple changes in the Del McCoury Band, or at least one change. Fiddler Jason Carter has left the group. He's going to pursue a solo career. So Jason's an amazing fiddle player, and you hate to lose him, but it's been a good split. They're very amicable, and they're behind the McCourys are behind what Jason wants to do with his solo career. So after 33 years, he's going to move on. And taking his place so far, he looks to be a young man named Christian Ward, a fiddle player. He is age 33, from Apple Valley, California, but he's lived in Nashville now for quite a while. He was a child prodigy on the fiddle, so a great fiddle player, so he should be a welcomed addition to the Del McCoury Band. And we have Sierra Ferrell, one of the top ones. She'll be there on Friday night performing. She just won 4 Grammy Awards, which is pretty great. Some people compare her to Loretta Lynn and Dolly Parton, people like that, but it's just Sierra is just a great talent and songwriter, and very great range with her voice. And she will be back. Last year, she played in 2023 at DelFest, and then last year her set got cut short due to a thunderstorm. So unfortunately we lost. She only played maybe 25 minutes. I was there for 30 minutes, and the skies opened up and they had to shut it down. I remember I went to my car to get out of the rain, and we sat inside my car, me and my friend, for about 40 minutes or so while it rained pretty hard. And by the time the festival resumed, it was just too late to get Sierra back out and get her on there and get her set in. So I'm glad to see that she's back in 2025. Like I said, she just won 4 Grammy Awards. Cat walked away with trophies for Best Americana Album for Trail of Flowers, Best Americana Roots Song, American Dreaming, Best Americana Performance, American Dreaming, and Best Americana Roots Performance for Lighthouse. So 4 Grammys this year. She's originally from Charleston, West Virginia, and burst onto the scene in 2018 when her song In Dreams became a viral sensation on YouTube. So Sierra Ferrell back. That's going to be entertaining. Also, we have, for the first time, Asleep at the Wheel will be playing at DelFest. Asleep at the Wheel is a Western swing group, really keeping it alive, the Bob Wills sound. And year after year out there keeping that great Western swing sound alive. And they are basically got their start in Cumberland, Maryland. Some of you may know the story of Asleep at the Wheel and their leader, Ray Benson. It was in 1970. They were looking for a place to put a group together, and they came to this area and found a little place called Paw, West Virginia, which isn't far from Cumberland, just 20, 30 minutes down the road, across the Potomac River in West Virginia. And that's where they started putting the band together. As Ray told me in an article I wrote, a friend of ours was taking care of a farm in West Virginia for their dad. The farm was known as Spring Gap Orchard in Paw Paw. And there, with musician friends Lucky Ocean, Leroy Preston, Benson decided to drop out of college and take up residence at the farm. They wanted to use the farm as a place to rehearse and allow the band to come together. And it was there that they put the sound together, just a half hour from here. And when they finally were ready to play out there in 1970 for the first time, they picked a little place in Cumberland as their first gig. Benson said somehow they got the club's owner to pay him $50. Cumberland was our first paying gig, said Benson. We played the Southern Lounge. Now, the Southern Lounge is located on Mechanic Street in Cumberland. I'm actually on Mechanic Street here. So it's down the street from me, and it no longer exists, but in 1970, the Southern Lounge was there. And it sounded like one of those Blues Brothers type things. Ray said that they went in and their barbell ended up higher than what their pay was. So they were, I think he said $18 in the hole or something like that at the end of the night. But that was Asleep at the Wheel's very first gig. Didn't take them long. In the next year or two, they branched out, and they have over 20 albums and over 20 Grammys, I think, in total. And 10. They have 10 Grammys, 20-plus albums. And, they're based out of Austin, Texas now. And so I'm really looking forward to seeing Asleep at the Wheel bring their brand of Western swing to DelFest. Others, Larkin Poe is going to be there for the first time. That's exciting to see these young ladies come in. Larkin Poe from Calhoun, Georgia, is led by sisters Rebecca Lovell on guitar and Megan Lovell on lap steel. I think they play other instruments as well. They got their start in 2005 when the sisters were teenagers. They're named after their four-time great-grandfather, Larkin Poe, who was a distant cousin of Edgar Allan Poe. Pretty cool. So we're going to look forward to seeing Larkin Poe at DelFest this year. By the way, if you want tickets, you need to find out about the camping that's available. They have camping hookups plus the primitive camping. They've got one-day passes up to four-day passes. Check out DelFest.com. You can find out what's still available, what the prices are, and look into it in a much deeper way. What I would also want to talk about a young man that's going to come to the festival, and he's from Italy, actually from Sicily, Palermo, Sicily. A virtuoso guitar player. He's 28. His name's Matteo Mancuso. And this guy's an amazing picker, and he plays with his fingers, doesn't use a pick. And I'm going to see if I can't play you a little bit, a piece of him. Here is amazing guitar playing that this guy's capable of doing. Here's a little clip from Matteo Mancuso. This is called The Price of Love. He's playing electric guitar here. Wow. Beautiful. Wow. It's all with the fingers. No pick. Wow. Just flying across that. So that's a little hard to turn this off. Wow. I'll stop it there, but you get the picture. Wow, this guy can fly. So he's playing on Sunday at DelFest. Matteo Mancuso. Really want to see him. As a guitar player, I'm looking forward to that show. Also on Sunday will be Dre Anders. Dre has a wonderful singing voice. You want to catch her. She does gospel stuff, but also a lot of folk and bluegrass and a wide selection of stuff, and just a real beautiful singer. Also, Steve Poltz will be on Friday performing. Steve Poltz is known for being a songwriting partner of Jewel. Together with Jewel, they wrote "You Were Meant for Me," the big hit for Jewel. And I just preparing for this, I pulled up the video, and Steve's in the video. Steve Poltz is in the video with Jewel of "You Were Meant for Me." That's great to see that he was in there. He's co-wrote the tune with her. He is there Friday. Also, Leftover Salmon, who has the great Vince Herman. Great sounding band. They're also there on Friday. Let me know what you think of DelFest. Again, I'm anxious to hear from you. Have you been there? Have you thought about it? How many times have you been there? What have you liked about it, and enjoyed? Looking forward. Hosting it is Joe Craven, and Joe's always great to. He is just the type of guy that brings everybody together with inspiring stories that he tells and remarks over the microphone. Last year, I wrote down just one of his remarks between acts. He said, "Think about unity this weekend. Think about brotherhood. Think about how great it is to live in this country." Those are the kind of things that Joe says, and makes a lot of really inspiring quotes and remarks, and great host. And so, ladies and gentlemen, that is it. Also, a lot of good vendors at DelFest. You have a little bit of everything. I mean, there's quite a variety, from healthier selections to stuff that's just more typical. Just to give you, I wrote a little bit about it. The festival have expanded the menu with a wide variety of foods, including healthy, organic offerings and international cuisine. DelFest concert goers have choices from about 15 food vendors. They include local businesses and vendors who are on the road. International food offerings include the Flaming Wok, Timmy's Greek and Middle Eastern, Pie for the People, Grateful Spread, and Godicado, just to name a few. Godicado says bowls with organic greens, along with pomegranate juice and smoothies and mint teas. I can't remember who made it, but my food choices are all over. I eat just about anything, but to a degree. But they had this. Might have been the Grateful Spread. I'm not sure which one it was. They had a cheesesteak egg roll, and they were so good. I was in that line every day. They actually ran out of them on Saturday. The demand was so high for these cheesesteak egg rolls. But they were good. They were delicious. And, I think it was called Grateful Spread that had them. I hope they're back with the cheesesteak egg rolls. Delicious. They had conch fritters, Cuban sandwiches, a lot of choices. And we'll be there, as I have been since 2013, and looking very forward to it. That's today's show. Thanks for viewing.